2011. Wow, what an amazing year. This is my picture video recap using some of the photos I shot throughout the year. In January, I came back from Phoenix and then headed out to Park City for Slam Dance and Sundance. On my way, I met up with Flicker Rick, and I also met up with Sterling and his awesome family to do some jump shots. Finally made it to Park City, saw a great film called Like Crazy, then went to the annual Slam Dance Sled Off, which is always super tons of fun. Lots of filmmakers. Went to the Indiegogo party, went to the annual Slam Dance Hot Tub Filmmakers Summit, saw a film called Another Earth, saw Dylan, saw a documentary called Life in a Day, and then stopped by the exhibit, stopped by the headquarters for Lance's transmedia project called Pandemic, did some jump shots, got to go to the Sundance Short Film Awards ceremony, jump shot with Jonathan, met up with Cindy to help with her short film, saw Tiffany's great documentary called Connected, helped out a bunch back at the Pandemic project, helping with a bunch of Google phones. It was great working with you guys, Allison and Mark and Zach, Kevin, Josh, Janine, Zeke, Lance. It was awesome. Attended the awesome rap party where Kid Koala DJ'd, saw Lucy. Then I left Park City and headed down to Salt Lake where I met up with Flicker Rick and Ash and TJ, and we all went photo walking. And then we went on an awesome hike with Rowan, and then I got to attend a Sundance Salt Lake screening of a film called Sound of My Voice. Eventually I left Utah and headed back down through Arizona and Vegas and back down to LA. Just in time to head to Hollywood for the premiere of my friend Matthew's film called Waiting for Forever. Went on a nice hike down to the golf course with my family. Then in February, I got to go on an awesome photo walk adventure down to Matador State Beach. Back at home, we got some snow for the first time in many years. Inception won the Oscar for VFX. In March, I saw Olivier's Burning Man documentary. Then I decided to head to the East Coast to continue my editing. So I bought a laptop and collected a bunch of hard drives, and I headed out. I went through Sedona and met up with Jamie, had breakfast with Michelle, stopped by the awesome Meteor Crater in Arizona, finally made it to Texas and to Austin for South by Southwest, where I met up with Zodi and Mike and Vu and Lon, got to go to an awesome Indiegogo party, went to an awesome Burning Man event at a local park, went to the crazy Vimeo party, attended a great panel with Christine O'Malley and Billy Corbin, saw Gary Vee speak, saw Mickey, saw a film shot on Red called Natural Selection, saw Scoble, saw David Short, then I got to see Emily's feature called My Sucky Teen Romance. Saw a great film called 96 Minutes, saw a film called F My Life, saw a film called Hesher, met up with April, had lunch with Andy, then I got to meet up with Christine and her awesome family. Then met up with Rachel to go photo walking at McKinney Falls, jump shots with Flicker friend Shannon, then got to see some awesome South by Southwest music performances, including my friend Ryan's band and my friend Sunny. Then I got to visit my grandma and family in Texas, and then I met up with Kimmy and friends on an awesome campout. Then I drove to Nashville, where I got to spend some time with Stacy and her family, and Anya, as well as Ashley. And then I headed out to Georgia, where I got to see the band Royksop perform. I met up with Allie, and then down to South Carolina, where I got to meet up with Flicker friend Jackie, and then met up with Jamie, and then over to Charlotte to Randy and Hoolie's place called Luna's Living Kitchen. If you are ever in Charlotte, please check it out. Then up through Virginia to meet up with fellow Primal Quest staffer Susanna. Then visited fellow photographer and musician friend Johnny. Shot some jump shots. Then visited my cousin Lauren. Saw Zeke for his birthday. Then I finally made it to New York City. Met up with my friend Tanae. Met up with Catherine. Then I got to attend a screening of my friend Brooke's documentary called The China Question. Met up with Jeremy, saw Matt, then I headed north through Connecticut and got to stop by my friend's farm. Met up with Kelly and Jeff and their awesome family. Then made it to New Hampshire for Dana's unschooling conference, where I got to shoot a ton of photos. A great wildlife encounter, Roderick's great performance, discussions, Zumba, the indoor water park, and music, trading, craft fair, awesome talent show, face painting, and lots of hooping, awesome dance party, taste testing, Amy's show. There were a lot of activities. After the conference, I got to spend some time with Dana and Joe and their awesome family. Then I headed back down to Connecticut to continue editing with Roger. Had a great party at Steve and Shannon's. The days were filled with lots of editing, thinking, drawing, planning, cooking up lots of yummy meals, and exploring nature. We went to an awesome party over at Redfire Farm and got to take apart an old barn. Then I headed north to Maine to continue editing and to hang out with Caitlin and Joe and their awesome family. Then I headed farther north all the way up to Nova Scotia to continue editing. I got to hang out with Jen and Taylor. We made lots of yummy meals. We even got to go exploring out to Peggy's Cove and Duncan's Cove. Then in June I headed back down to Maine to visit with Julie and her family and got to explore nature a bit. And down to Caitlin's house for another awesome visit. Then back down to Connecticut. Another great party at Steve and Shannon's. And I continued editing with Taryn. One evening, we lost power due to the trees being knocked over. But we continued editing. Explored Amherst and Monson. Had a pizza party. And then we headed to Redfire Farm for some strawberry tasting at their annual strawberry soiree. What a fun time. Then I got to tour Sirius Community with Roger and Taryn. Very neat place. Another week of editing, exploring nature, and cooking yummy meals. I got to celebrate 4th of July twice, once with Taryn and Roger, and the second time over at the lake house with family. Then back to Connecticut for more editing. And then I headed down to New York City to do some jump shots with Alexis and Dan from Record Setter, and Janine and Esther. And then I headed out to Boston to meet up with Eric from Burger. Then back up to Maine to meet up with Gregor and friends. And then to an awesome unschooling gathering where we camped out at a lake. Lots of fun water activities. We had a campfire and made s'mores. And over to Caitlin's for some blueberry picking and hanging out with her family. And then out to Quebec, where I got to help out my friend Dan God on his short film that Eyes and Judd were producing. Great working with you guys, Jeff and Kevin and everyone. Can't wait to see the completed film. And then out through Montreal and Toronto, where I got to hang out with Kiki and her family. Jump shots in Toronto, then down into the US, into Indiana, where I got to visit with Maddie and her family. Always great seeing you guys. Then a quick visit with Russ, discussing the future of energy and solutions for the future. Then out through Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, jump shots with Monica, jump shots with Megan, stopped by Hedge in Texas, out through New Mexico and Colorado, met up with Nicole for some jump shots, and then out to Black Mountain Ranch, where I met up with my friend Andrew, who was there. Shot some jump shots, and then out through Utah, Arizona, Nevada, out through Vegas, and back to Los Angeles. And then out to Venice to meet up with Viola, Simona, and Max. Always great seeing you guys. Then another day at the beach to visit with Lisa and her family. The next day I headed out to Burning Man to help out with a super awesome documentary project with Terry and Noel. We got to shoot the various art projects and interview the artists the week before Burning Man opened. We got to shoot some really awesome projects, including Peter's new project called Charon. Saw Erica, saw Jesse and the Do Lab's great project, We also got to go out to Greg and Sin and Lightning's project called Odic Oasis. Saw Halcyon and Yams. Saw Matt. Saw Lauren and Diana. We shot an interview with Larry. And then I switched over to shoot for another documentary, shooting with Red 998. Saw Spitfire and Shimmer. Saw Nick. Saw Clay. The temple at night was super beautiful. Everything on the playa is vast beyond wonder. There was a lot of really huge projects this year. Glad I got to be part of it. Saw Alex. And Saturday night, the man burned. And then I went out to the temple for sunrise. Found Scott London, and then the temple burned. Found Adrian and Matt, and then headed back to LA to deal with gear. The day after I got back, I joined Tiff and headed down to San Diego for Flo's unschooling conference. International candy tasting. Everyone loved the pool. Arts and crafts, and jump shots, and painting. Lots of great discussions, barbecue party. There were so many great people and families and activities. The awesome group photo, movie night. Blake and Brenna led some awesome discussions, and hooping, nature journals, board breaking, and even a Nerf gun war. And a dance party. Some people did surfing lessons. And Amy's show. We even made ice cream. I had a great time. Then back to LA where I met up with Joseph in Hollywood to test out some lenses. Then back at home where we had a great double rainbow. Then I packed the car, this time to Montreal for a great project. I headed out to Texas to visit with Shelly and Jamie and the Garden of Eden team. Such a fun and beautiful place. Then out through Kentucky and out to Nashville, where I got to shoot for a few days helping my friend Ashley on a neat project. And then out to Asheville to visit with Gregor. And then to Charlotte to visit with the team at Luna's Living Kitchen again. Then through Virginia and Pennsylvania and New Jersey and New York, Connecticut. Picked up Tiff, saw Kelly. Then up to Maine, where we had a great pizza party with Caitlin's family. Said hi to Dana. And then up to Montreal to meet up with Janine for the launch of Lance's transmedia project, Robot Heart Stories. We got to travel all the way back to LA with the robot that students named Laika. We went through Toronto, Parry Sound, St. Marie, and back into the US through Wisconsin and Minnesota, where we saw my friends Michelle and Jeremiah. Always great seeing you guys. Then down through South Dakota, where we got to visit the Badlands, Mount Rushmore, out through Wyoming, and Colorado, where we visited the Great Sand Dunes. We even got a double rainbow on the way out to the Four Corners area. Saw the breathtaking Monument Valley, and then we headed to the Grand Canyon. South through Las Vegas, and back to Los Angeles, where we went to the Griffith Observatory at night. Then I got to attend DIY Days, where Lance and Janine were presenting Robot Heart Stories. Great seeing everyone, Tommy, Yams, Nervin, Zeke, Hunter, Christy. It was an awesome event. Laika was famous. In November, Jamie, Kieran, Rhiannon, and Christian stopped by for a visit. It was great seeing you guys. Got a copy of the Record Setter book where my world record was published. And for November and December, I turned off my cell and the internet and continued editing 15 hours a day. Hope everyone had a great 2011. And remember, keep playing.